Collab Plus Education presents.
From Earth's darkness to total connection, the deep meaning of Avatar.
Let's begin.
You know, today we're doing something a little different. We're not just talking about a movie franchise. We are decoding a philosophical text that's been hiding in plain sight. Yeah, we're going to peel back the layers of this sci-fi epic, and what we're going to find is an actual alchemical roadmap for humanity's future. I mean, for years, we've all celebrated James Cameron's creation as this technical marvel. And look, it absolutely is. The world building, the visuals of Pandora, they're just breathtaking. It was a total landmark in filmmaking, a real game changer for sure.
But what if there's something way deeper going on? The source material we're digging into today makes a pretty bold claim that there's a much deeper story here, one that actually uses the language of ancient alchemy to diagnose our modern world's crisis and maybe even offer a radical path forward. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in.
So, let's get one thing straight. This is not just a simple story about ecology. Not at all. The entire saga is really this deep philosophical dive into humanity's identity crisis, especially now, in an age where the lines between human, machine, and nature are just blurring like crazy.
Okay, so think of it like this. The entire 5-film arc is structured like an ancient alchemical process. You know, the classic turning lead into gold? Well, in this story, the lead is a dying, nihilistic Earth, and the gold? That's a new, synthesized consciousness, a merger of humanity and the spirit of Pandora. So, to understand the gold, we've got to start at the beginning, right? Let's talk about the lead.
All right, so if you really want to get why humanity is so desperate, why they're invading Pandora with such force, you have to look at the world they're running from. The Earth of 2054. It's in a state of what alchemists called nigredo. That's the first stage. Blackening, death, total decomposition. It's the rock bottom.
And we're not just talking ecologically dead here. This place is spiritually dead. I mean, if you've seen the deleted scenes from the first movie, they paint this incredibly grim picture. We're talking gray, cyberpunk cities, the only light is from glaring ads, and people are literally surviving on synthetic algae. You get the sense that their spirits are just as choked and toxic as the air they're forced to breathe.
So the source material we're looking at argues that this has led to two different kinds of nihilism. For most people, it's just this passive despair. You know, they've just given up. But for the corporation behind the whole invasion, the RDA, theirs is a totally different beast. It's an active, power-hungry nihilism. They see the death of values as a golden opportunity to just seize absolute control. And this simple idea, it completely reframes the whole conflict, doesn't it? Suddenly, it's not just a simple story of good guys versus bad guys. No, it's a clash between two completely different ways of being, of seeing reality itself. On one side, you have a worldview based on separation, and on the other, a worldview based entirely on connection.
And when you lay it out like this, the core philosophical differences just become crystal clear. Think about it. Earth is defined by a deep terror of death. It's what drives the elites to chase after artificial immortality. But Pandora, it's the complete opposite. They accept death, not as some final end, but just as a return of energy back to the living whole. Two totally different mindsets.
Okay, so here's the real irony. The very technology that lets humanity get to Pandora, you know, the whole Avatar and Recombine It program, is the same thing that throws them into this massive existential crisis. It makes them ask a really uncomfortable question. What does it even mean to be human anymore?
And the recombinants, especially the new Colonel Quaritch, are right at the heart of this whole mess. So, get this. They're Na'vi clones, but they're implanted with the memories of a dead human from something called a soul drive. Which brings us to the big question. Is this new Quaritch actually the same person? Or is he just a biological AI running a dead man's software? What do you think?
This is a classic philosophical puzzle, right? It's called the Ship of Theseus paradox. It's an old thought experiment. If you replace every single plank of a ship one by one, is it still the same ship when you're done? Now apply that to Quaritch. He's got a new body, copied memories. So, is he still him? The movie basically grabs you by the shoulders and forces you to confront this question. I mean, the guy's a walking, talking contradiction. His mind is loaded with human ideology, right? But his body is pure Na'vi.
Physically, he's wired to be able to connect with Pandora's network, but psychologically, his programming is screaming at him to destroy it. He's literally a battleground between his original code and his new biological reality.
So what's the answer? Well, the saga seems to take a clear stance here, and it's basically existentialism 101. Characters like Jake Sully and yep, even Quaritch, they aren't defined by where they came from, whether they're human or a clone, nope. Who they are, their very essence, is defined by the choices they make and the actions they take right there on Pandora.
All right, let's talk about the magic of Pandora. You know, the collective consciousness, the way they access ancestral memories, it all seems like pure fantasy, right? Well, not so fast. The source material we're pulling from explains it all through the principles of Hermetic philosophy. This is an ancient tradition that basically says the universe is one single interconnected living system.
And what's so cool is that in Avatar, these ancient ideas aren't just metaphors, they're presented as literal, biophysical facts. So Eywa isn't some goddess floating on a cloud, she's a planetary mind, basically a biological supercomputer running on a neural network of tree roots. And individuals can literally plug into that network. And all of life communicates through vibration and frequency. Just think about the Tolkien song. And Kiri is the ultimate symbol of this. Think about her origin. She was born from a human-designed avatar body, right? A piece of technology. But it seems she was conceived directly by Eywa. She is the living bridge, the proof that technology doesn't have to be the enemy of nature. It can actually become a vessel for something sacred.
But of course, the story doesn't stop there. We're not at the gold phase yet. The next film, which is rumored to be called Fire and Ash, is about to introduce the next stage in this alchemical process. And this one is violent. It's painful. It's a necessary purification by fire.
In alchemy, this stage is called calcination. The idea is that you have to heat a substance, burn it down to its absolute purest essence to get rid of all the impurities, all the illusions. And that is exactly what's about to happen to every single character on Pandora. And it's going to be driven by a brand new force of destruction. So, get ready to meet the Ash people. They're Na'vi clan who, because of some terrible trauma in their past, have completely rejected Eywa. They think she's cruel or that she just doesn't care. They basically represent the shadow side of nature, a kind of nihilistic rage that embraces fire and destruction. And they're going to be the catalyst that forces everyone to get burned down to their true essential self. So, where does all this leave us? I mean, in our own world with real-world AI and ecological collapse staring us in the face, where's the hope in all this? Well, the saga suggests it's not an easy answer. It's in the final and probably very difficult synthesis of all these opposing forces.
When you look at it this way, each character is way more than just a person. They start to look like archetypes, representing a key piece of our collective human journey. So Quaritch isn't just the bad guy anymore, is he? He's the shadow. He's the artificial intelligence that is slowly, and probably very painfully, trying to find a soul. And this all circles back to that ancient Hermetic idea, as above, so below. That really is the ultimate message of the saga. The technological mind that humanity created, that which is below, and the biological mind of the planet, that which is above. They aren't meant to be enemies. They're actually two sides of the same coin, two aspects of a single consciousness that are meant to be reunited.
And really, that's the final takeaway here. The whole point of this epic story isn't for humanity to just ditch a dying Earth and escape to some fantasy planet. No, it's supposed to be a blueprint for our own transformation. It's a call to remember that sacred connection we lost between mind and matter, between technology and nature, and to bring that consciousness of Eywa, that interconnectedness, back home, right here to our own world.